Hi guys, today we've got a 2021 Cadillac Escalade Sport for the review page. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, that like button down in the bottom right hand corner, please go ahead and do that. We're going to go through the features of the car, kind of show under the hood, some of the menus, some of the new dash, and some of the upgrades that have been done to the vehicle for this new generation. First drive on it, looks like we got about 192 miles on it so far. We're averaging about 17.5. Of course, we are moving. Inside's very nice. The dry is very good. The lane keeping system in this one is just amazing. You know, I'm used to the trucks to where it kind of will go back and forth. It just feels like this thing just stays in a straight line, and it doesn't even really swerve in and out for corrections. It seems to handle really well. Overall, the features, you've got the controls down here. We'll do a little bit more in the daylight where you can see it, but you can control the screen. I think this one has the wireless Apple CarPlay. My phone asked me for that when I plugged it in, but I picked it up at the dealer. It's late in the evening. Of course, basically had to move all the stuff over and jump in this one and just start driving it. So haven't got to do a lot with it in the settings. So like I said, hopefully tomorrow we can get it in the daylight and show y'all a little bit more of the settings. This is a four-wheel drive sport model. We'll see what we get total for the trip. Like I said, we're showing best about 19.7, but I haven't been running pretty much anything under 78, 79 miles an hour, and average is 17.2, which for a four-wheel drive sport is really nice. One of the things I did notice, and we'll show it on the video in the daytime too, is these are a little bit longer than the older versions. You know, we traded in our last model, Platinum, and the back seat was kind of elevated, so the seating was real short in the back seat. Well, this one sits flat on the floor. The other thing I noticed is the extra foot almost added behind the seats. We used to get groceries, you would have to fold the seats down to put the groceries in. You know, difference from a Tahoe to a Suburban, I guess. And it looks like they extended the Tahoes also, that extra foot. So you've got a little more room behind the seats. Like I said, we'll go over that. Those are just some of the adders that have changed. You know, this one you can see it's got the heads-up display. It's kind of the same as the last model. All your AC controls are down here. Screen seems pretty user-friendly. But like I said, we'll get some more daytime video on it for you. Just wanted to show you another feature that was kind of neat. Over here on the right, we go to the AR camera right here. That's an interesting view. That is the screen you're looking at right there. Look up top, and then that's what you see on the dash right there. Then we can switch back. You can actually go to your map. Starting something up. Looks like I gotta go accept the terms to get that to pull up. So that didn't pull up, but anyway, over here on the left, there's a little touch screen. If you look, and that's where I'm toggling between those functions. I'll switch lanes real quick. I can go back to my gauge function. Up the gauges. All right, so this is what they call the 600 Sport. This one did come with the 6.2 liter gas engine, the 10-speed automatic transmission, with the 22-inch wheels. Got the standard non-electric steps that the Sport Edition comes with. The lighted handles have changed a little bit. If you look, they've got a little lighted LED that runs across the top, and instead of the button, it's just got a finger sense on there. And the inside of the handle is actually a button. You actually squeeze the little trigger and the door opens. So small changes. That's the mirrors with the blind spot indicators, and also has the auto dimming for night, the blinkers, and the camera. Has a rather large fuel door. The reason I guess they did this is probably because the diesel will have to have a depth spout, so they probably made that bigger for the diesel models that are available. And one of the differences on the back, this one has the blacked out sport exhaust tips. It does not have the button under here anymore. It actually has, this is what you depress to activate the back hatch. Same setup here. One of the things that was a big change that I noticed is this is not the ESV, this is the short version. And it looks like you've actually got, man, if I was to guess, at least almost another foot of space behind these seats to the door. Not quite as much as an older model Suburban would have had, but they did make these cars a little bit longer, and they are a little bit wider. So they're a little bit bigger, and they sit up a little bit higher also. So it does feel like a little bit of a larger car. And then here we've got the 110 access. This folds the two seats down in the front, and this is your fold for the two back. This one does have the AKG sound system, so you can see the subwoofer and stuff is located back here on the back. Same as always, push button there, down hatch. Here's an under hood view of the 6.2 liter. So when you first get in the car, one of the things you notice is it does have the seat memories. It's got your windows, mirrors, window lock, mirror adjustments, and then your seat heater and vented controls are there on the door. They have changed this. The old body style had the knob, so it's got the auto for the auto four-wheel drive, 2 high, 4 high. I think that's hill descent, and then there's a mode button there. Parking brake, brake controller, and then the dimmer for the interior lights. Alright, so if you get in here, looking at this new dash, squeeze this camera up a little bit. If you can see it, that's what we've averaged over the past. Now this is the 4-wheel drive model. So basically your settings over here, your trip, you can tap that again, that's trip 2. You can turn that off. Here, that's what you're looking at over here on the main view. So that's your gauges, your tacks down here on the bottom. It has a noise canceling in here for speech. There's a button on the steering wheel. Works really well. You can turn that.
What would you like?
You can turn that.
Speech session canceled.
Sorry, that was the wrong button. You can turn that feature on and off for the conversation enhancement. You'll see it says it right there. It works really good when you're talking and driving down the road. It makes your voice sound really crisp. It's pretty neat. Another feature it has is you can hit the map button here. It'll pull your navigation up on the center. Then you can hit the AR camera. Of course, then it shows the view from the front of the vehicle. Other controls are your lights controlled here, blinkers. It does have paddle shifters right here for sport mode. If you go to your mode button here, you can see that you have sport, off-road, tow haul, and tour. The sport mode, the steering gets a little bit stiffer. It's a heavier feel, and then it allows the paddle shifters to work on the transmission also. Over here on the right, you've got all your wiper controls for your rear and front wipers. Steering wheel controls here. Left is cruise control. This is speech. This is that noise thing I was pushing a minute ago. Heated steering wheel, your gap for your your what do you call it? Adaptive cruise control. All your radio controls are on this side, up and down, volume. Then going across here, that's all your AC controls. Does have an auto hold here. That's for if you're on a hill. Has the automatic start stop control on this year model, and then has the lane keep assist. One thing I noticed is the lane keep assist on this vehicle feels really good. It doesn't jerk back and forth between the lanes. It's a nice soft correction, you know, if it starts to veer towards that line, so you don't get that swerving like you kind of do on some of the other vehicles I've driven. This volume control for the audio, all your audio controls. This controls the screen up here. As you can see, this vehicle does have wireless CarPlay, which is really awesome. I don't have my phone on me, but this slot right here is great. You slide your phone down in there, it actually goes all the way to the top, and it wireless charges your phone in that slot when it's in there. So having the wireless CarPlay and this charger is great because you can just drop it in, you have access to it, everything works. Been very happy with the technology in this one. Had it a couple days. I did the first drive review at night, which I'll show you, or if I haven't showed you, we'll pull that up. But overall, technology's been really good. It's got a big center console. This glove box on that side, standard. This is the brandy interior. It does have the rear entertainment center. And if you look at that back seat, one of the things you'll notice is the back seat in the last generations were very high, so they didn't have that much headroom. So you had to put small people back there. The benefit now with these back seats is these two seats here will actually slide forward and backwards. So they're adjustable. There's more leg room on these already than there was on the last model. But if you look at the leg room in the back, that third row has a little bit more leg room. And if you also notice, the floor is flat, so it's not elevated like the last ones were for the rear axles. So it gives you that more headroom. Now this vehicle does have the full sunroof, which you can see. They've added the panoramics, but they didn't take away from your headspace. And if you look back there on the third row, you can see they brought it back up so you have the headroom in the back. So really good design. They've got nice AC vents there instead of the round circular ones. They put the rectangle ones in the ceiling. And we'll get in the back seat in a second, and I'll show you the rear AC controls. Going back to your Cadillac menu here, you can hit the home button. All your vehicle information is in here. That's your drive time, idle time. And then we can scroll over. It's got your brake pad life in here, air filter life, traction stability control, tells you they're on. All your gauges, which are nice, you can actually see the gauges. Trailer brake control, output. So anyway, just got lots of nice screens. You got a music one here, which we don't really use because we use the CarPlay. See, it would allow you to push my phone. There it pulls up. And then what's nice is you can also select other phones in this menu, but it's got FM, AM, and your Sirius XM. We'll go to your navigation, which we have not even started that yet. Let me accept the conditions. Continue. So there's your GPS, your phone settings. You can add a phone, or see you've got both phones here. You can select which one you want to wireless CarPlay, which is really nice. You can set one up as a primary and one's a secondary. And when you get in the vehicle, you can select either one of those. What seems to work with us is the key fob memory on the seats. You know, you set your mirrors, radio station, your air conditioning, all those things, and it saves that setting into the key fob. One of the things I've noticed that's really nice is it saves which key fob. So if I get in here with my key fob, it knows to connect to my phone. And if Michelle gets in the driver's side with her key fob, it connects to her phone. So really nice feature. That's just your vehicle information again. If you go into the settings here, this is where you can get to how the vehicle reacts to things, display sounds, the conversation enhancement, the phone projection, the Wi-Fi hotspot, software updates, preferences, optimizations. When you get into the vehicle here, they got a valet mode, a teen driver, rear seat reminder, climate controls, collision detection systems, lighting, pretty much all that. It's got everything in there. We'll go back to home, then just go back to CarPlay. This one does have the AKG sound system. It sounds really nice. It's very crisp, very clear. The noise canceling works really good in this vehicle. Up top, if you look, this mirror is actually digital. So you're looking at the camera setting. If you flip it back, you go back to a standard rear view mirror. So you can actually select which one you want to look through. And then it's got settings and adjustments for those right here. OnStar, that's your panoramic slider. This is the actual roof, the moonroof. One of the things that's neat is it actually brought these controls up front where you can fold the rear seats up and back. So you don't have to actually go to the back of the vehicle to do it. That's just to tilt the sunroof. Then your standard home link. And this is the motion sensors. So if you lock the vehicle and you want the motion sensors off, you can turn them off. This piece here actually does control. It's like a mouse for the screen. So you can go through all the settings, kind of click on things, and then select them right here without having to touch the screen if you don't want to get your fingerprints on the screen. So here on the back seat, if you notice, this is one of the features I was talking about. It has a fold down here where you can actually adjust the recline setting. And then this is the forward and back, which is really nice. So if you do have someone in that third row, you're able to pull that forward, move it up, and get a lot of leg room back here in the back. So it's a nice feature that wasn't on the previous models. Get in here real quick, and then you can kind of look. That's your TVs or your screens for the back. That's the remote, the settings for the back seat, also the heated and cooled seats. And then that's the HDMI ports and the USB-Cs. And they've also added some nice cup holders for back here. Okay, so I'm sitting back here in the third row, and this is what I talked about. You have just tons of headroom. It doesn't feel cramped like it was before. I mean, I'm 5'8". My legs are nowhere near touching the back of these seats. One of the things that's really nice back here is they did give you some USB-Cs. Not sure what that is. Got cup holders here, got a nice little armrest, and we have the air vents here. And also has the adjustable air vents right here in the ceiling. So, I mean, this seat's pretty comfortable in comparison to the last generation. I could sit and ride in the back of this, no problem. I wouldn't feel like my guests are uncomfortable.